Hello, hello. It is day 18 on the Camino Frances. We're breaking it down with the help of Google Earth Pro, supplemental material to the trip that I did in 2017, the trip that that started this channel, because before then I would just upload a video every once in a while. Today, we're doing 26.3 kilometers from Carrión de los Condes to Terradillos de los Templarios, and two things are happening today. The first one is we're reaching the halfway point of the Camino Frances, and the second one, today also I found out about the Via Francigena for the first time. We are smack in the middle of nowhere in between Burgos and León in the open fields of La Meseta. This is a 178 kilometer stretch that you can do in 7 days from Burgos to León. I had to do it in 6, but we'll get to that on tomorrow's video. Before we go into today's stage, let's go over the Camino de Santiago as a whole, so that by the time you guys get there, you know it like the back of your hand. The Camino Frances stretches about 800 kilometers from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France over the Pyrenees and all the way to Santiago de Compostela. Once you get there, you might as well walk an extra 100 kilometers to the end of the world, and you're not gonna regret it. These are the major cities that you're gonna come across where you can get in and out quick. These are the starting and ending points if you just want to do the Camino in different stages. As you make your way westbound in northern Spain, you're gonna go through different autonomous regions and provinces, and we're gonna start with Navarra, followed by La Rioja, and then we enter the massive Castilla y León. Now within Castilla y León, we're gonna walk through 3 of them, and that is Burgos, followed by Palencia. Tomorrow we're gonna get to León, and then after that we enter Galicia, and Galicia is divided by Lugo and A Coruña. Here is today's stage, only 26.3 kilometers on flat terrain, but today is the epitome of a treadmill. Today we're gonna be walking on a stretch about 12 kilometers where it's just flat lands and there's no pilgrim support. Actually, there was a food truck halfway there, but if the guy doesn't show up, you got nothing. So bring some water and something to eat. Only 2 towns, and they're pretty much all the way towards the end, and that is Calzadilla de la Cueza, the unofficial / official halfway point of the Camino Frances. Since I have the tracks here, I did the math, and this is the halfway point. If you start in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, if you start in Roncesvalles, then it's a little bit further down the line. The day started at 6 in the morning when I woke up in the Albergue in Carrión de los Condes. Funny story is that at 6:15 there was a large... There was just an accident outside and I lost power. I also lost the internet. They hit the light post and the cables just came down. So I guess we're gonna continue without the video on the monitor. But like in the Camino, we had to adapt, right? So let's get into today's stage. The day started at 6 in the morning when I woke up. At 6:15, there was a large group of people by the front door trying to get out, but the door was closed. They had a sign there that it would open at 6:30. So we had to wait for somebody to come in and open the door from the outside because it was locked. I went to have breakfast at Bar España, 6:43, and I had the café con leche, orange juice, and the napolitano right across from the pilgrim statue that they have here. And then I just walked, making my way out of the town. As you can see, you have ATMs, a bunch of bars, cafeterias, supermarkets, in case you need to grab something for the long road ahead. So here in front of this market, they have one of those clocks, and the temperature was 13 degrees Celsius. It was 6:59 in the morning. Not far from here is a 16th century church of Iglesia de Santiago Apóstol. The tower was destroyed in a fire during the War of Independence, and later on it was rebuilt. Got to cross over the Carrión River over this beautiful bridge on my way to the Monasterio de San Zolio. You have a crucero and a statue here, 7:15 in the morning. This monastery is from the 10th century, and it was a major political and religious center during its time. Cross this roundabout, and you start to make your way out. This is where I got the flowers that were getting out of hand. So after we cross this road, this is a 12-kilometer stretch straight as an arrow to the town of Calzadilla de la Cueza. Clear skies, beautiful. The weather forecast said there was a 100% chance of rain. It did not look like it, but it will rain. I bump into a pilgrim from Montana, Nick. He does the Camino at least twice a year, ever since his wife passed away. And he was telling me the story of how he was walking with a group of Irish pilgrims that they just decided to call it quits and head back home. They went out for a night of drinks and he joined them. And he forgot about the 10 p.m. Curfew when the albergue is closed. So when he came back from drinking and he got to the albergue, the doors were closed. He was trying to get in. Nobody would open the door for him. So he ended up passing the night at the church. So just keep that in mind. You have to be back before 10 p.m. or you're going to sleep outside. Made it here to this intersection, and I saw a couple of signs that were odd. They were out of place. One was the Via Aquitana. It said 12 kilometers. I really don't know what this is. I guess it's just like a stretch of the Camino that follows this path. There was also a sign to the old Hospital Blanco. And also I try my luck at the rock stacking here once again. This is where the weather started to shift. I could see in the horizon the dark clouds coming my way, so I was about to enter like a storm in a way. I had no way to avoid it. I just had to keep walking in the straight line, and I did so. There were all the pilgrims in the path, so I wasn't alone. This was already the 25% all the way there. Made it to this rest area at 9:10 in the morning, and I was lucky because there was a guy here with a food stand, so I managed to stop for a little bit, just a quick break. I had a little bit of orange juice and a snack, like one of those protein bars, before continue on. Got some drone shots here of me walking in the ever-expanding fields of La Meseta. We're here out in the middle of nowhere. 9:18, crossing the roads. Every so often you will see like a backcountry road that you will get to go over. Another rest area over here, and here is the sign for Cañada Real Leonesa sign. And here is a 6 kilometers to Santa Maria de las Tiendas. This is the ruins of a church that we're going to get to see farther down the line. We're at the halfway point of the day for today, just today's stage, not the Camino. And here is when I had to stop and take my rain gear out because it looked like it was going to start raining already. It was only 10 in the morning. So from this point on, I had all my rain gear with me. Luckily for me, I made it to Calzadilla de la Cueza without getting rained on. Just outside of town is where the halfway point of the Camino de Santiago is. If you start in Saint Jean Pied de Port, this is it. And there's an albergue here, and they have a sign there claiming that it is. At the time, I didn't know. I wasn't sure, but it turns out that they're right. They have a water fountain. You can stop here, get something to eat. I flew the drone from this corner over here, getting some shots of the town, getting some shots of the pilgrims walking in. You have Iglesia de San Martin on this corner. But I continue on walking. And from here on out, we're going to follow this road all the way to Terradillos de los Templarios. It was 11 in the morning. You get to walk at least on a separate path right next to the road, so you're not on the shoulder of the road. But here you also have an option. Did not know this at the time. So if you want to avoid the road, you can just follow this dirt track, which will rejoin the road a little bit down the line. If you go in that direction, if you make a left turn, you're going to miss the ruins of Santa Maria de las Tiendas, which is right here next to the path. It was already 11:20 in the morning. I was walking with all the pilgrims in front of me, going over this small bridge here. Today is not one of the days where you get to see a lot of things like days past. Today is just one of those where you just want to get there. And I was trying to get to town before the heavens opened up. There's a rest stop here on the side of the road. I just continue on walking. And here there's an arrow on the ground, and it's made out of rocks. Made it to Ledigos at 12:30. Now you can stay in this town if you don't want to continue on to Terradillos de Templarios. By the time I got here, it was extremely windy. So windy that I stopped at this bar at 12:30 where I had a beer and a ham and cheese pincho for lunch. They have the 373 kilometers to Santiago mark here. You have a couple of albergues. You have Iglesia de Santiago Apóstol on this corner. And here I met Emma and another pilgrim from the U.S. And the three of us walked together all the way to Terradillos. And when we got to Terradillos, it started raining. So we got there just in the nick of time. Terradillos is just a speck in the middle of nowhere. There's really nothing to do here. You do have Iglesia de San Pedro in this corner. But I made it to the Albergue at 1:25 in the afternoon, and I checked in. Pretty cool albergue. I saw they had a sign for massages, so I booked a massage. Today, or the day that I was here, it was Cinco de Mayo. So I was celebrating that. I was celebrating reaching the halfway point of the day. And as I was getting my massage, the masseuse, the lady that runs the albergue, she just kept talking about this trip that she had done a few years ago. That was just amazing. And she walked from Canterbury all the way to Rome, going over the Alps, 2,000 kilometers. It took her 3 months. And I just could not believe it. I thought that's a pretty cool idea, but, I just put it in the back of my mind. She was also telling me that she was planning to sell her house and go to Canada and just do the Trans-Canada Trail, I think is what it's called. And that one takes a few years to walk. Little did I know that I think this was in April and July of next year, 2018, is when I decided to do the Via Francigena. Why did I do the Via Francigena? I didn't want to go back to Spain and repeat myself just by doing another Camino, so I was looking for something else. It was between the Via Francigena and maybe doing the 88 temples in Japan, which might be my next pilgrimage now that I think about it. So just because of the cultures and I just wanted to play it safe, I decided to go with the Via Francigena. I thought about doing laundry, but it started raining and it was so bad that I decided, you know what, it's not even worth it. I bumped into Maria here at the albergue and her feet were just going from bad to worse. I think from trying to compensate from the blister that she had, she got another one on the other side of her foot. So had dinner here with the gang, with the Spaniards, and we just had a night of drinks and then just decided to call it a day. Tomorrow is going to be a 43-kilometer day, the longest day that I walked on any of my trips. And the only reason why I had to walk so much is because when I got to El Burgo Ranero, the town where I was supposed to stay, all the albergues were closed and the next town was 13 kilometers away. So I had to bite the bullet and walk that, and it was the toughest day on the entire Camino Frances for me. So if you want to find out about that one, I guess I'll see you on the next video.